All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to apostles of GMS, and a sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. And I want to get into, I would say, possibly a quick video going into this whole, when it comes to words such as what this place like to put on us, toxic masculinity, and then that's feminism and all this other mess. And people starting to find out that that feminism thing ain't working, or that how much of how phony this whole this entire thing is. So I was like, okay, it dawned on me. I was like, okay, I could do a little bit of research onto it, even though a lot of us probably already know it, and then probably some things I knew, but it never hurts to go into it. So I went to find the word masculinity. And it says qualities or attributes regarded as characteristics of men. Handsome, muscled, and driven. He's a prime example of masculinity. Mind you, I'm just going into the regular Google. Just regular Google, just for the fun, just for the fun of it. Okay. So all right. I wanted to go. Here we go. So what is toxic masculinity? And a set of attributes and ways of behaving stereotypically associated with or expected of men regarding as having a negative impact on men and on society as a whole. The destructive messages associated with toxic masculinity can lead to men feeling entitled to engage in violence against women. But the funny part is, I don't see of anything. They don't see when they say we get toxic masculinity. We not even physically putting our hands on women. When we get called toxic masculinity, but they say it coming against women. Okay, we come against men too. When you listen to men, they don't just get on women. We get on each other too. But you got these, and then the messed up part is we don't plot like these women do. These women will plot, but then they'll be right behind each other, stabbing each other in the backs. I guess there's no gray area to the side, I guess. But I wanted to look into when was this toxic masculinity thing became a thing, because I mean, when was this word 200 years ago, or even 1,000 years ago? That's what I want to know, because nobody was saying that word back then. So I went to when that word was first used, and it was 1980. It was in the 1980s when they started using the toxic masculinity thing. And so that goes to show you that Babylon would just label you what you are just for the hell of it. Because if toxic masculinity just started in 1980, what were we did back then? That goes to show you that being a man in this society is frowned upon, really. You have to be like these soft, effeminate men boys, I should say, out here to gain any type of attention from these women. But even then, from actual men, we still get what we need, because we ain't always worried about these women. We're worried about what we need to do in life to survive. That's the main key. These women are worried about buying mansions and shit. What you gonna buy or make that get the house built a certain way? I be hearing it all the time. Men, we're more simplistic because we don't want that much. I mean, sure, some of the stuff Jake wants be a little much, as far as price wise. But you don't hear Jake talking about a whole bunch of shit they want. Probably Jordans, a new car, and that's it. Maybe in a decent house. But this isn't about uh men again versus women. This is more so about how Babylon portrays us as this is what you are depicted to be versus that. And then our people gravitate to these things and don't even understand how this even came about. So I went into the word feminine because they like to list three words: feminine, feminist, and feminism. Feminisms. Slagia. So you got masculinity and then toxic masculinity. You got feminine, feminist, and feminism. But where's the toxic feminism? You don't see that as a thing. You don't even hear that. So it says having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with women. And funny enough, for the example, it says a feminine frilled blouse. A blouse is a dress. You don't see women doing that. Not often. You may find some women in there that does it. If their attitude's right, it'd still be fine. But a lot of women out here is actually paraded naked. They're always showing off the tightest things. They're not. 9 times out of 10, they usually ain't wearing a dress. So that's scratched off number one. So I went into feminists because apparently feminism and feminist is both technically the same thing. Um. So I think I went further down. So it says, so what it means to be a feminist. A feminist is someone who supports equal rights for women. The word feminist comes from feminism, which originally meant simply being feminine or being a woman, but gained the meaning advocacy of women's rights. So in the late 1800s. So if this word was originally meant to be feminine or being a woman, why did they change it to being as someone who supports equal rights? Whereas this word meant something totally different. Because originally, as it's meant to say, feminist or feminism is nothing. Is supposed to be nothing more than feminine, and all they that's how backwards the society is. Because they'll and then people do it all the time. They always be like, "Oh, that was back then. We're living in new times." Okay, sure, correct, but why change the words? Because I guarantee you, some of these words that we're saying right now won't be the same 30 years later on. If this place even lasts that long, if it's all up to the Lord. But you had the question, why was these words changed if it was such a just a normal word? But that goes to show you that even Esau knows that these words have a big impact. They like to say, "Break sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me." That is where see that's Esau's philosophy is to keep these people's minds in a loop. Words do hurt people. It's how people get into fights all the time. Number one, and these words that you take and you try to make or put on people, that hurts them. You hear people in certain scenarios when they say a certain quote unquote racist word. Oh, people get mad. So that's the trickery of this place's mindset. And these women also need to come out of that feminist BS and become an actual feminine woman. This place, as we see, is gonna get snatched pretty quick. And a lot of these women gonna get snapped right back into order anyways. That feminist thing won't be flying. Soon enough, that feminist word will probably go back to what it originally meant anyways, which was feminine. So it's only a matter of time. That whole toxic masculinity thing is going to be kicked out of the window. That was just made recently, 20 years ago. Or that's like 30 years ago. Hey, that was just made up for toxic masculinity. That's masculinity, and it will always be masculinity. No matter how much Esau tries to change it. So, going to the word feminism, it says the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. Organized activity in support of women's rights and interests. So, as this was all organized, but at least these people would think it was organized by other feminists. No, this whole thing was organized by Edomites. Because here we go, the word feminism itself was first coined in 1837 by French philosopher Charles Fourier. So, feminism, as we read earlier, started in 1830 in 1800s. Come to find out, this guy started the whole word in 1837, and these people don't know that it started from a French person down. He didn't Babylon didn't adopted his ways and made it worse. Let's see. I was just looking at this just to go into look at it more about him, but he says he had became a mainstream thinking in modern society. For instance, Ferrari is credited with having originated the word feminism in 1837, which I'm pretty sure goes back even further than that, since feminism means feminine. But I guess in this guy's term, he switched it into what it is today with this whole movement, women's rights. So that was straight number 2 there. This is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man." And that is what Esau has done. He has put these women over men, and then we'll get mad at them for bailing out on them or not being men, because they'll like to blame the fathers out of the homes. But if you put them back in the homes, they still ain't doing no better. They ain't teaching your daughters, your sons or daughters, the right thing of what's natural and what you should be doing as a young man or a young woman. That's not happening. Because even in this society, these children are still going to be children when they get old. When they get older, they're still going to act like children. So it doesn't matter if the father's in the house or not at this point. And you women have fallen for that bait of kicking your man out of the house for a credit card, for some money. It's you women's fault for falling for that trap. But it's ultimately Esau's. And even more going to it, it's really the Lord who ordained it for it to happen. Because at this point, we're not mad at these women for doing what they did. It's the prophecy. Some just get mad about it. I'm not mad about it. It was meant to happen. Because we know that once this place falls, these women will snap back in order. Whether they like it or not, they will snap back into order. That's all this is just a process before they're broken through or broken down, when they realize their pride is useless now without the jobs or being able to maintain keeping a household in check with just money itself. So they really catching it. They're gonna really feel it by then. This is Ecclesiasticus 26:26. It says, "A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all." And that's what our people. That's what our women technically originally was doing. Is when they honor the man, everything goes smooth. She's considered a worthy woman to be under her man. But in today's society and in other societies where we was in captivity, and this is by far the worst one, a woman that dishonors him in her pride shall be counted as ungodly, which means yes. And this today's society. If these women ain't trying to do their best by the side of their husband, they're trash. Just that simple. Unless they repent. But at this point, a lot of these women are just trash. Because the real woman that we gotta cater to is these scriptures, the holy Bible. Because that's the main important thing. Because if they don't want to honor us, oh well, we gotta continue honoring the Lord, whether they follow suit or not. But when the kingdom is established, oh, they will follow suit. They will want to follow suit because now they're happy. They're able to do righteous things. They actually get to be happy. They won't have to do as much working. Like I mean, you don't. Nobody has to go to work besides Esau. We'll actually be able to rest and enjoy our children, our land, our crops, taste real food, real air, real water. So these are the things we hope for. And that, though it sounds like I'm jumping from part to part, but the way you see the society, how they like to divide us, like how they divide us in school, boys sitting one side of the classroom, girls sitting on the other side of the classroom, and this is how it looks like when you out here in this world. Men get pushed into the back, women get brought up to the front. Women get the better paying jobs, or men gets the crappy jobs, the jobs that no one wants. Yeah, you start seeing that comparison. This is Proverbs 30:20. It says, "Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness." And that's a lot of these women. And how you could probably even equate the men to it now. Because these men, or like as the Akim like to say, these males, you got a lot of these males out here that are just a lot of betas. You got some that likes to act hard and act tough, and you know full well they ain't nothing. They dodging the kids. They shirking from their responsibilities. They ain't taking care of their homes. They're a bunch of weed smokers that's addicted to the stuff. That or drinking their asses off. Oh, the list goes on about both sides of the corner. We don't sit in that one area where it's just all about women because we're men. Nah, we get on these men too. Because because it's not just the women suffering these curses. It's the men that suffering these curses as well. So if the man is suffering, then yeah, the woman's gonna be suffering too. Because there's an order. It's always a natural habitat. You don't see the lion. You don't see the female lion uh, being being in charge of the male lions. It's not a thing. And in this society, it has become a thing. It has become a thing. And now look at the pack. The whole family is weak, and this is what you get. But when this place is done or through with, oh, it's gonna be that pack is gonna be set right in order. The king of the jungle is going to be on top, and the pack, the family will be in order. It'll be set. It'll be happy, and they'll be good. And that's what we look forward to while we're out here. To wait for that day when the Lord says this place is through. Time to bring my people home. That in itself, and I pray a lot, me and a lot of brothers and their families, if the Lord shows favor to them, that he beams us out of here. We get to witness the destruction of this place and the birth of the kingdom. But that's pretty much all I wanted to go into with that. So, Lord willing, this was a little edifying, and with that, shalom.